The first strat is this echo strat for kitchen on cafe. To do this, first you want to come into coffee inside of kitchen. You're going to go all the way towards this wheel as far as you can. Then, look up at this part of the cabinet. You want to shoot out the glass just like I've done here. Aim your crosshair at the lowest bar out of the 2 shelves here and throw your echo camera. Now it should stick onto the shelf just like this. Now you can get on your echo camera and actually drive it into the shelf and hide it away. This will become useful later. For the second echo camera, you want to break only the left or upper part of the shelf here and then throw your echo camera inside of the shelf. This echo camera is pretty hidden, and because most attackers will hear the echo camera, they're going to assume it's above them and not inside of some shelf. So it's actually pretty hidden. You can get on the camera and hide it even further behind this debris like this and wait for an attacker to push the double door. Now in terms of where you'll be sitting, you're going to be sitting inside of kitchen, preferably right here next to the drone hole. You want a reinforcement here with head holes right here, or the other way around, it doesn't matter, with optional head holes here as well. As Echo, you have 2 jobs here. Your first job primarily is to get on the second camera that I showed you, and if anybody tries to push your double door, you can easily hop your camera up, stun them, hop your camera down, and go through the drone hole, or go behind the briefcase into coat check. It doesn't matter. You just want to get your echo camera somewhere else so it doesn't get shot, and then you as an echo player are going to swing the stunned player off of these head holes. It's a pretty good strat that will allow you to get a lot of free kills for over-aggressive players. For the second camera, though, you're going to hop it out of this cabinet here if anybody tries to drop the freezer hatch or just plant inside of the bomb site in kitchen, just like this. Hop it out, go onto the roof, stun here behind the bomb or in the freezer, and now with this optional head hole, you're able to kill anybody that you may have stunned. It's a pretty good strat. Now that was just one out of 33 different strats that I'll be going over in today's video. An even better strat though is this top floor mute strat for canal. Now your first mute jammer is going to go on the left side of this doorway. This makes it to where if you're sitting on top red, no one can drone you from the door here. Your second mute jammer is going to go to the middle of red stairs just like this. This will make it to where nobody can drone up red stairs for where you're going to be playing. Now the last 2 mute jammers are optional. You can either use 1 mute jammer for each set of these walls here for the 90 hallway, or you can put a mute jammer on top green and a mute jammer for Skybridge. It just depends if you want wall denial or if you want drone denial. It's pretty optional. Now as mute, because you have a shotgun, you want to be making feet holes here for your box player and for you, and you want the optional rotate here and the rotate here. Primarily for the strat, you're going to be playing on red stairs with your shotgun. If you play on red stairs with your shotgun, nobody can drone you, so they don't know that you're doing this, so you have the element of surprise. This will make it to where if anybody tries to come up from bottom red, you can easily shoot them with a shotgun. If they try to come up in the box, you can easily swing, shoot them with a shotgun. If they try to hop in the 90 window, you can easily ADS, shoot them with a shotgun. It's pretty easy, and because of the shotgun buff, these are all one-tap ranges, especially with this good of a shotgun. Now, if they decide to go in the feet holes here, you can easily SMG-11, or even prone, and shoot them with a shotgun. So it's a pretty good strat if you love using shotguns, and most of the time you will win, because a lot of players love to push the 3 key areas that I talked about in this strat. An even better mute strat is this top floor cafe strat, where you're going to be primarily playing inside of the box here. As mute, again, because you have a shotgun, there's a lot of sight setup that you need to do. First of all, I recommend shooting out the bar here. Secondly, you want to shotgun out the bar here as well. You do this primarily because people like to plant here and they like to plant here. So now anybody inside of Cocktail can easily deny both of those plants from happening. You also want optional feet holes and head holes on this wall, and then you want to rotate and rotate there if your teammates didn't make that. Now your first mute jammer is going to go right here. This will make it to where nobody can go on the new hatch and drone you from this doorway right here. The second mute jammer is actually going to go in the box with you. The third mute jammer is going to go next to this drone hole. Now this serves 2 purposes. It pairs up with the mute jammer there, making it to where no one can drone this hallway from the door or the hatch, and it also gets the right side of the red wall, which should be reinforced, and with a mute jammer on the left side as well. That way you have both sides of the wall mute jammered, and nobody can shoot either of the jammers because they're both pretty hidden. Finally, you want to hole on this wall right here. This will allow you to have your shotgun out, ADS, and if anybody drops the hatch, it's a one-shot kill in most scenarios. If not, it's definitely a down, and if not, you can easily just go to the door and shotgun them instead, or nitro them without even having to see them, and it's a free kill then. The only thing unorthodox that I recommend you do is reinforcing this hatch, this being because people can buck below you and completely ruin your strat, so you don't want that to happen. Overall, it's great because nobody can drone you at all, and you have the element of surprise with a shotgun, just like the last strat. An even better cafe strat, though, is this castle strat for kitchen. Now, this is a pretty common strat, but I like to put my own twist on it. As castle, you're going to be playing inside of coat check. So for this reason, you want to barricade off the double door right here. This makes it to where if you want to rotate back to site, you don't have to worry about the long angle from anybody in restaurant. You also want to make a rotate into whiskey here. This makes it to where if you have any roamers trying to come back to site from that side of the map, they're not completely locked down. And it also allows you to hold any attackers trying to push the double door without having to expose yourself. Next, you want head holes on the right side of this wall right here. Now, like I said earlier, I like to put my own twist on this. Instead of reinforcing both of these walls, I like to put a rotate rotate, or head holes on this wall instead. This makes it to where if you want to play bakery or you have a bakery player, they can rotate back to sight, and it also allows you as the co-check player to hold a long angle onto anybody on the bakery double, or anybody inside of bakery in general. So it's a really good angle that not a lot of people know about, and you can get a lot of free kills with. For the proximity alarms, you want one under the desk in small bakery. This will allow you as the castle to know if anybody's in small bakery, so you don't accidentally wide swing any angles that you don't know if an enemy is there or not. Next, you want this wall reinforced with a castle barricade right next to it, and then you want a crouch height rotate next to the castle. You have to make it crouch height because it forces you to crouch so that you have cover behind this bookshelf and you're not exposing your head to anybody on the double door or inside of bakery. Next, you want to castle off this door here. This forces attackers who want to push this side of the map to go either through the rotate, where you can kill them with the head holes, or through the double window, which is very dangerous for them because it exposes them with a vault prompt and from many other angles as well. Now, a lot of people like to barricade this window as castle, but this is actually a mistake. You don't want to be doing this. The reason people do this is so that they're not exposed to anybody inside of reception right here, or anybody specifically on the door trying to grenade them. But you want to be able to use this window to rotate to any attackers on this side of the map, so I wouldn't castle that. Instead, I would actually just castle this double door altogether. It forces attackers to go through the window here or to go to brown stairs, in which you have an angle from the co-check window that you can use to hold anybody trying to do that. For the final prox alarm, it's optional. I'd either put it on red stairs so that you can notify yourself of any attackers that are there, or you can put it on the bakery double so that you can use that angle to get free kills. But other than that, that's it for the strat. Now, we've talked plenty about defending strats, so let's go over an attacking strat, specifically for Kitchen and Oregon with Thermite. Now, if you're playing Thermite and you're attacking Kitchen, you want to take small tower control, whether it be through the window here or the window on the other side. Once you've droned out the top of small tower and you're inside of small tower, you want to put a Thermite charge next to this ladder just like this. Now, it doesn't matter if they have Cades, bandits, or any other gadget on this wall, because once you explode this Thermite next to the ladder, it will get this wall open for completely free because the proximity of the explosion. This specifically is why I never like to play inside of Kitchen and Dining, and I like to go meeting instead because of how free it is to just get this wall open. As Thermite, all you have to do is get control of shower and throw a smoke grenade at the door and plant the bomb, and you essentially have free cover from small tower for an easy round win. Now, that was just 5 out of 30 tips, and these tips get crazier and crazier as you go on, so make sure you stick to the end of the video. To prove this to you, I gotta show you this Maverick trick for Chalet. Now, this is specifically if they're holding bar with a mirror. As Maverick, what you want to do is you want to open up with you or your teammate a hole into the basement wall just like this. Now, the hardest part about this strat is getting a drone in here and actually making sure that basement is clear, because a lot of people like to sit here as a roamer, but if you're able to actually do that, then this strat is a piece of cake. All you do is you crouch in this hole, destroy the default camera here, and walk up this staircase like so. Now, make sure to reload your torch, because what you're going to do right now is immediately come to this wall and blow a line right here. Now, you want a teammate to do this with, or you want to immediately get your gun out, because the mirror sitting right here is not going to expect this, and they're not going to hear it, and it should be a free kill every single time they have a mirror on the site. Every single time I've done it at rank, it absolutely works, 100% success rate. I don't know why nobody knows about it, but within 30 seconds, you can kill somebody on site. It's absolutely overpowered. Another strat you can do within the first 30 seconds of the round is this Brava strat for Villa. You're going to rappel up on the roadside spawn to the boar window right here, or the wolf window, whatever you call it. Then you're going to get in this corner right here and throw a Brava drone next to the drone hole. Now, immediately get on this Brava drone, click on the 90 camera right here, and then throw your camera back outside. You'll be able to hack this camera, and they won't be able to shoot your Brava drone, essentially giving you the default camera in 90 for absolutely free. This is powerful for any site that they decide to go to, and they're forced to shoot the 90 camera, which is arguably the best default camera in the entire map. So immediately you get a bunch of value. Then for the strat, you can open up this window and just hold a passive angle onto anybody for top red and get a free kill. Once you do that, you can go in and then just take 90 control with the information that you have using smokes to get the plant down. It's a really, really aggressive but easy strat to do, and you'll get a lot of value out of it. If you like aggressive strats like that, then this Ying strat for Canal is just for you. This is specifically for attacking the basement. The first thing that you're going to want to do is hop on top of this box just like this. Because you have an LMG, you're easily able to just mow down this window. Because you're on top of the box, if you lean to your right, now you can ADS all the way into the back of bathroom. So what I like to do is I'll wait here for a good 30 to 45 seconds for anybody in bathroom, and I can get an easy headshot kill most of the time. If you're on console, it'll be a bit harder, but it's still a free kill most rounds. Once you've done this, you have 1 to 2 options. You can either play a more risky game and try to ying into lockers to get control of the bathroom area, or you can open up this window instead. Once you've opened up this window, this is a lot easier to do, but you won't get as much value out of it. What you want to essentially do is throw a ying candela with only 2 bars of charge onto the floor exactly right here. This will make it roll a little bit so people will run away, and then you'll flash anybody in the hallway to the left, on the doorway here, or anybody on the staircase, allowing you to easily hop in the window and crouch right here. If you crouch right here, you have the option of going down into the pit, or you have the option of taking the gunfight for the staircase or for the doorway. If you choose to take the gunfight, you can then use a fully cooked ying candela that they can't actually run from and avoid, and then walk in and get some kills. If you decide not to do that, though, you can easily smoke the left, take the gunfight to the right, and then take the gunfight in the hallway. Either way, you can use your utility to take gunfights in various places to get free control of scuba or free control of lockers. You can even use this pit here, go to the bottom of the ladder, and then not cook the ying candela at all to give people time to run away so that you can easily have time to go up the ladder and hide inside of a stall. If you cook it all the way, you won't have that much time to get up the ladder and hide in the stall, so I like to not cook it at all. But either way, you can use ying pretty smartly here to get free control of bathroom, showers, pit, scuba, or anything in between. Now, we've talked about a lot of attacking strats. Fucker, die. So let's go over this defensive castle strat for clubhouse and gym. A lot of you may think that you know the strat, but I promise you, you don't. First of all, you want to rotate right here, and you want a reinforcement next to the rotate. A lot of people don't do that, but if you don't have that, people can get on this window and shoot open this wall and have a long angle onto the rotate here, so you want to reinforce the wall next to the rotate. That being said, of course, you want feet holes all along this wall, and then of course, if your teammates aren't doing it, you want to make the 3 rotates for site, 1 for bathroom, 1 for logi, and then 1 for construction. Also, you want head holes for this wall, which I'll explain later, and then you want to rotate on the red wall just like this. A lot of people hate this rotate here, but I'll explain why it's important later. Now, hopefully you didn't have to make all of those rotates and feet holes by yourself so that you have time to place these next castle barricades. For the first castle barricade, you either want to castle barricade this window or the doorway right here. The only reason you'd castle barricade this doorway is to make sure that if anybody's bandit tricking or K tricking this wall, they don't get shot by the window. But in most scenarios, you just want to castle barricade this window here. Same for the master window. Same for the construction window. And then you want to castle the CC window. Now, what a lot of people will do instead is they will castle this door. But if you castle this door and you don't have a rotate right there, it makes it to where you can't go on this window and pressure anybody on highway, which you really want to be doing as a defender because it makes people play a lot more scared on these windows, allowing your people on site to have a much easier time playing the game. Instead, castle this here, and maybe even think about reinforcing the wall here so they don't get a long angle into cache. This will make it to where they can't as easily push into CC, and with your rotate on red, you can play red and they can't push into CC. The entire point of the strat, again, is just to hold CC. Now, because you have a rotate here, don't waste 2 reinforcements on this wall right here. Instead, you want to reinforce these CC walls again because you want to hold CC. Then, you want to make sure these 2 walls are reinforced as well. I'm not saying as castle you have to do all of this, but you have teammates that can do it for you. In terms of prox alarms, you want one for red stairs, obviously, so you don't get flanked, and then you want one for main stairs so that your teammates don't get flanked. As castle, your main job is to play inside of cache and play inside of CC, either using these head holes to contest anybody hopping in through the castle barricades, or using this window to prevent anybody from even breaking the castle barricades in the first place. These head holes also serve a double purpose, because you can sit inside of construction and kill anybody in CC just in case you lost CC control. Or you can sit inside of construction and hold the rotate in case you lost top red control. Either way, these head holes are crucial if you want to hold this site in general, even without a castle strat. Speaking of castle strats, you've got to try this mid-floor reading room castle strat if you win both your upstairs and downstairs defenses for cafe. Your first castle barricade you want on the reading room door. You want this on the door because you don't want them to be able to go from spawn on this door immediately into sight, or if they come up from brown stairs or 3rd floor, you just don't want them to be able to run in through this door for free. It's really nice having a castle barricade here for that reason. Again, you want to also pair that up with a proximity alarm so that if they do break the castle and no one's near it to hear it, they can hear the proximity alarm instead. You want to rotate into laundry room, as well as feet holes all along both of the sites here. Now, you don't want to actually make the feet holes all the way to the right, because if you have an attacker right here, they can easily shoot anybody trying to rotate back into the other site. So I like to cut it off right there. And it also goes without saying that hopefully you, as the castle player, aren't having to make all of these feet holes, because that would just be hell for you. Next, you want to rotate on the left side of this wall here, and you want to make it vaultable, just like this, not crouch height. Now, honestly, I wouldn't even consider this a rotate, because it's not. You really use this, because as a defender, you want to be able to sit inside of fireplace and hold anybody coming up from top white stairs once they inevitably take top floor control. Also, make sure that's reinforced. Next, you want to rotate into freezer, and you want to castle barricade on the freezer door here. You also want a castle barricade with a reinforcement next to it in the cocktail lounge right here. And then your final castle barricade will go on the cocktail window, with next to it an open hatch. Now, if you couldn't tell by this strat already, the main purpose of this castle strat is to have people playing upstairs inside of cocktail and also inside of freezer. With reinforced walls here and a tight angle right here, you can easily stop anybody from coming third floor, or at least delay as much time as possible. With this castled off right here, you're easily able to drop the hatch just like this and rotate into reading, or rotate all the way into fireplace as well without much contention. Your final prox alarm you can put wherever. I like to put it on bottom white personally, but a more effective proximity alarm would be on this doorway. That way, if you're playing top floor and they decide to sneak to your left, you'll at least have an alarm system so they can't do that. Now, we've talked a lot about Castle, but let's talk about his better counterpart, Azami, and I brought you onto Basement Nighthaven Labs to show you this. Now, I forgot to bring impacts, but you want to rotate or head holes on the right side of this wall here. Now, because you have this as Azami, you want to put your Azami barricade inside of this rectangle right here, on the top middle part of it, just like this. This will allow you to crouch and have a pixel angle onto these head holes for anybody walking into the breach, allowing you to get a free kill while they're completely unable to see you. But if you want an zombie barricade that has a little bit more forgiveness in terms of what it can actually see, put it in the top right corner instead of in the middle. Now, you can easily see more, but they can easily see you, so it's kind of a double-edged sword in that sense. An even better Azami strat, though, is this one for top floor inside of bank. Primarily, you're going to be playing in Trump for the strategy. Your first barricade is going to go on the bookshelf right here. This makes it so where when you're playing inside of Trump, you don't actually have to worry about the two windows that the attackers can rappel on here, because this barricade covers them. Your next zombie barricade needs to go on the chandelier pole right here. This will make it to where people can't get on the window right here and shoot you when you're inside of Trump. But as you can see, the right side is still protruding out, so you can easily put a second barricade next to it to double it up. This is a lot better than putting two castle barricades here and wasting two castle barricades when you can just use a zombie and have two zombie barricades left over. Your next zombie barricade should be going on the couch just like this. This will make it to where if you have anybody rotating inside of janitor into the CEO desk, they don't have to actually worry about these two windows right here that the attackers can easily utilize. And then your final but optional zombie barricade can go on this couch just like this. Now, this is a pick your own poison moment, because yes, it makes it to where the people on the head holes can't shoot you, but it also makes it to where you can't shoot them unless you get next to the barricade and hold a pixel angle, which is great, but then you're exposed to these windows here. So if nobody's on the windows, then you can easily do this. But if they are, I wouldn't even recommend wasting a zombie barricade right here, and I would just replenish this one with your final one. Another great strat for top floor of bank is this alibi observation blocker strat. As alibi, you'll put your first set of observation blockers right here, and also right here. This will make it to where if they try to drone in the prep phase, they can't actually drone anybody inside of banana, and that's very, very powerful for you. You can also abuse this by putting alibi clones behind the observation blockers, either behind the actual observation blockers themselves or behind the windows right here. Either one works. Specifically though, you want to make sure that it's behind the metal grates and not where there aren't metal grates, because then they're able to shoot the feet of the clone and that's actually bad for you. As alibi yourself, you want to be playing in bottom lobby, being very sneaky and trying to avoid drones when you can. This will make it to where whenever people rappel on these windows, they'll shoot your alibi clones because the observation blockers block it, so they're not going to know that they're there when they try to drone out the place. When they shoot your clones, you're easily able to see where they are by the pings, and you can swing and kill them for absolutely free. Same for anybody trying to go through the ATM double door. It's a really, really effective strat, and a great way to use observation blockers. While we're on the topic of bank strats, let's go over this open area castle strat. The main issue with this site is that they can play vertically on it, specifically right here. What you can do to mitigate this is extend the site horizontally with castle barricades. Instead of reinforcing all three of these triple walls here, what you want to do is put a rotate somewhere on it, because as castle specifically, you're going to be holding control of tellers and archives. For the first castle barricade, you'll want it on the window here. This will make it to where nobody can get on this door and get a long angle inside of archives. Your second castle barricade will go on the double door right here. This is a pretty default one, but there's a lot of reasons behind this due to the fact that they can get a lot of angles into kitchen from just this double door alone. You then want a prox alarm for the window hop in here, and another prox alarm for the bottom of marble stairs right here. The reason you do this is because primarily as castle, you'll be playing on the bottom of marble stairs right here. Because you're doing this, you want these two walls reinforced, and you want a castle barricade on this double door right here. This will make it to where nobody can push the left side of the hallway, allowing you to sit on these stairs easier. You also want a rotate right here, so that you can come from the stairs into tellers, with feet holes all along just right here. What these feet holes allow you to do is go to the bottom of the stairs right here and shoot anybody inside of the desk or from this doorway. You'll want holes right here as well because it allows you to get on these same feet holes and shoot anybody coming in through the door right there. But that shouldn't be an issue for you though, because you're going to castle this door off as your final castle barricade due to the fact that people can immediately go into ATMs from spawn and get a long angle through this wall into anybody inside of tellers or archives. So you just want this castled just like this. These past few tips have been nothing but defender strats. So let's go over this attacking Osa strat for coastline. As Osa, your first shield is going to go somewhere on the hookah balcony. You can either use your shield to open up the door and then place it in front of the door, or place it in front of the door and then open the door. Either way, doesn't really matter. Just put your shield in front of the door. Your only concern is watching out for this window, but you can easily hold a pixel behind the shield just like this. But that's all for a distraction and for a teammate to use. Your second Osa shield is where you're actually going to be playing. First, rappel onto this balcony right here. Then rappel upside down onto this window and pull your shield out. You're going to break the window and deploy your shield upside down on this window just like this. Now you might think that you can use this upside down to hold angles like this, but actually you want to rappel right side up. Now you have a pixel angle onto anybody on the rotate right here or anybody on the door to your left, and they can't shoot you due to the fact that they can't even see you, much less shoot through a bench or through an Osa shield. It's really, really good, and with frag grenades that you can lob at a shield over here in vase, it's no surprise why this strat is going to be great this upcoming season. Bringing it back to the defense just for a second, I want to go over this bedroom-bathroom strat with Cade. Now, as Cade or anybody playing the bathroom site in general, you want these two walls reinforced, but a good Cade claw is something that you would not expect. To do this, all you want to do is come upstairs in the lounge, then shoot the left pillow right here. Next, you're going to throw a Cade claw on the very left side under the bench right here. This Cade Claw here will electrify both walls, as you can see, and they're not going to find that Cade Claw whatsoever, I promise you. Your second Cade Claw can go somewhere on the wall right here for the bedroom closet, just to make sure that nobody can go on the door right here and immediately open the wall in the site. It's a pretty good Cade Claw. An even better strat, though, is this Nomad strat for top floor cafe. As Nomad, you want to spawn park, and then you're going to rappel all the way up to the back alley wall right here. Once you rappelled up, you immediately want to pull your air jab out and shoot an air jab below the heaven window and above the hell door. If you shoot it exactly in the middle, it'll make it unimpactable by any defender, while also making it to where if they jump out the window or run out the door, they'll get air jab either way. The second air jab is going to go below the white window right here. Both of these air jabs allow you to safely rappel onto this window right here without having to worry about a run out. If they do run out, you'll get a free kill most of the time. Then what you'll do is you'll destroy this window. If you destroy the window on the left side first, you can easily shoot anybody on the rotate or on the potential mirror on this wall here. Then if no one's there, immediately look to your right and shoot anybody on the right here. If no one's there, check the left corner, and if all else fails, just hold this window, because a lot of times people will pass through your line of sight here and you'll get some free kill. You can also do the same thing by rappelling on the white window and immediately shooting open the top left corner just like this and shooting anybody that's playing inside of Pixel or in the bathroom hallway. Overall, this strat is amazing. An even better Nomad strategy though is this top floor canal attack, where you'll put an air jab primarily on the white stairs door right here. You want to put it honestly a little further out because they might be able to shoot that one, but you get the idea. Now once you're able to make your way towards the door, you don't actually want to air jab the door, primarily because you're taking control and watching the door anyway, so it's kind of a waste. Instead, put your two air jabs on the 90 windows here, and there of course too. This makes it to where you can safely sit on the wall and not have to worry about a single run out, which on canal is a very nice security to have. Rounding it back down to the defense though, let's talk about this basement zombie strat that you definitely need to know. Your first zombie barricade needs to go on the very corner of this box just like this. This will make it to where when you have a rotate right here, you can actually safely rotate even if the wall is open, which is very powerful for you, and it also gives you something to play off of in the process. Next, you absolutely need a zombie barricade on the corner of this box right here as well. This will make it to where you can safely rotate from this double door without having to worry about the yellow door here. It also gives the person playing on pipes the ability to play off of a zombie barricade for the wall, which is super powerful. Now, there's more zombie barricades that you can do, like the one on this blue box, but the rest are pretty optional. The next part of the strat is more important. What you want to do is impact trick this wall. You first want to throw your impact through the hole here, and then once you do that, they'll adapt by putting their breach charge on the bottom of the wall, to which you can counter by throwing your impact in the drone hole. If you throw it through the drone hole first, they'll know that you know what you're doing, and they'll just rotate to a different part of the site. But if you do the one above the wall first, you'll waste both of their breaching charges, allowing them to not get a single wall open in the process. Bringing us back to Skyscraper, let's go over this Zofia strat for karaoke. First of all, you want to bring claymores, so as you can see, I've already failed. Jokes aside though, you want to rappel up to the blacktop balcony just like this. Once you've rappelled up here and you've baited any potential runouts, you want to rappel into the balcony. Place your claymore that you hopefully didn't forget on the window here. That way you don't even have to worry about the potential run out right there. As Sophia, you want to open up this doorway. Now, this strat is only really effective if they forget to reinforce the wall here, which you'd be surprised even in Champ Elo, about 80% of players forget to do. As Sophia, you can really abuse this by getting your charge out and opening up the wall just like that. Now, if anyone's behind the shield and you use your other charge to destroy said shield, you can easily stop them from being able to rotate anywhere and you can kill them for absolutely free. Pair this up with a stun before you destroy the shield and you can easily get a kill that they are unable to avoid. Your second stun can be used to stun the staircase or the right side of the doorway if anyone's there, or even in the hallway if someone's there, to then get control of the hallway so that you can go for a plant inside of karaoke or inside of T. Either way, it's a very rush heavy and fast paced strategy that heavily utilizes the fact that they don't have this wall reinforced. If you want something more slow paced though, check out this tellers and bathroom castle strat for border. Now first of all, you want these two windows right here castled. A lot of people don't do this because they think it's a waste of castle barricades, but if you don't do this, it allows people to go on the top of the east stairs balcony and shoot anybody inside of sight, and you just don't want to allow them to do that. But actually, you're not going to be playing here, your teammates are. Your next two castle barricades are not at all where you'd expect. When you're done making the rotate from bathroom inside of a workshop, it's time to do the castle strat. Your first castle barricade is actually going to go on this double door right here. Now you may think this is bad due to the fact that roamers can't rotate through this double door, but a lot of the times your roamers don't do that anyways. So what this does is it makes attackers have to funnel in to ventilation or into the server room door, which they won't do. This allows you as the castle player to sit inside of workshop or just sit inside a bathroom and hold a long angle onto the rotate that you're going to make here. Making a crouch tight rotate does one of two things. It allows you to use the rotate and hold vents, of course, but that's actually the trick. You're not going to use this rotate. This is actually bait for the attackers to use, because if they drone it out and they see there's a rotate here, they're going to take that option and not the option of the door. And because you castled their only other route, they're going to take that rotate 9 times out of 10. So you can easily hold that angle and kill them for absolutely free. Now, if you're still super worried that they'll end up going through this door, you can put a proximity alarm here. This will cover the door and cover the hatch if they take top floor control and end up coming above you. Your final castle barricade is going on the passport double door, just like this. If you pair this up with head holes along the passport wall here, it makes it very difficult for any attackers to push into passport at all if you have somebody playing bottom or top square. So now, no one's going to be pushing inside a vent or passport, making this site way harder to attack just because you played castle. Bringing it back to bank, this is probably the easiest strat in the entire video, which involves you playing Twitch for the basement site. Literally all you have to do this strat is throw a Twitch drone right here. Then get on this Twitch drone and drive it through the drone hole just like this. This specifically is meant to counter the mirror strat, because a lot of people will have a mirror on this wall, and all you have to do again is drive your drone through here and zap the mirror, and boom, they don't have a mirror. Now a lot of the times they don't have the brain to know where you destroyed it from, and they won't even notice that you did destroy it. So then you can hop your drone through this double window and through the rotate that's usually there, and then you can get the second mirror for absolutely free. And it hasn't even been 30 seconds in the round yet, and you've completely disassembled all of their defense. Now if you have a Twitch drone left, you can use that to get all of the Goyos here, or you can push tunnel and get the Goyos in the exact same way. But either way, using Twitch this way, you don't even have to leave spawn, and you've completely helped your team utility-wise more ways than any other operator could. It's very, very easy. A strat that's even more silly though is this chalet attacking strat with blitz. What you're going to do as blitz is attack in the bathroom window immediately, just like this. Now, I didn't bring breaching charges because I always equip the wrong secondary gadget for whatever reason, but you want breaching charges to open this window. Make sure you have a drone in solarium as well so that you can drone out bathroom. What you're going to do is, you guessed it, put a breaching charge on this window, and then as soon as you explode it, you're going to immediately hop in with your shield and rush into piano just like this. Shout out to Glenny R6 on YouTube because he showed me this in a ranked game, but nobody expects this, and it gets you free kills every time, especially if you have teammates behind you that can easily follow up with it. It disassembles the entire defense in a matter of like 30 seconds, and it's so aggressive, so fast paced and out of the blue that you're just gonna win every single time that you do it in your ranked games. I only recommend doing this once in a game though. But this Valkyrie strat on Outback, you can use every single defensive round. Your first Valkyrie camera is going to go above the speakers and pipes just like this. To an attacker, it's almost impossible to see this camera, but on this camera you can see all of Bull and even into the Shark hallway. The second camera you're going to throw above the wall right here. This camera allows you to see into all of top and bottom garage and the garage stairs, as well as all of office. You can see a lot, and it's pretty hidden. Great camera overall. Your third camera is going to go inside of the light chandelier right here. Now, because of the grates around this light, no one's going to see this camera unless you're directly on it at the time in front of an attacker. And now, with this strat, you have a full 360 view completely of the site and everything around the site, so you know where attackers will be coming from every step of the way. Bringing us onto a new map, Theme Park. Bringing us onto a map we haven't talked about though is Theme Park, with this castle strat for initiation and vault. This castle strat is a weird one, but hear me out. You want to castle barricade this double door right here, as well as the double door next to it. Now, you may be thinking, well, how are you going to rotate from the hallway into cache? Well, that's the point. You don't. At least, not in the way you're thinking. Instead, you want a rotate that is hugging the left side of this wall as much as possible. This is just so that people can't see it from the doorway, but now you're still able to, as a defender, go from this hallway into cache if you want to. It's not recommended, but now you have the option. The reason you're castling both of these off, though, is because if someone gets on the door or they get on the window here, you don't want them to be able to get long angles into the hallway from both of these double doors, because as castle, you're going to be playing next to it with head holes all along, just like here. With head holes here, you're able to play next to your castle barricades and peek the cache door just like this. And if you have the common head hole strat right here as well, now you don't have to worry about the window whenever you have your head holes here, because you castled off that other double door as well, allowing you to essentially lock down the cache door with no threats available to you. Also, don't forget, as castle or anybody with a shotgun in general, you need to destroy the left side of this double wall here. The reason you do this is because if you don't, they can easily put a thermite or ace charge on this wall and destroy this wall with a proximity explosion, which you know, with my thermite tip on Oregon, is a really powerful tool that they can abuse. So make sure that you destroy that wall. With that wall destroyed though, they will be able to rappel on this window and get a long angle into the hallway, which you don't want for your roamers. So I actually recommend castling this right here. You could castle the doorway instead, but it's a lot harder for your roamers to work around that, so I don't recommend it. Your final castle barricade, I recommend putting on this window here. This makes it to where if you're trying to use this rotate, you don't have to worry about the window and anybody on it trying to shoot you. For your prox alarms, just put one on the double door here, and on the top of dragon stairs, just like this. Those two should be fine. Bringing it back to the attack just for a second, let's talk about the zero strat for Chalet. As zero, you're going to be pushing library. Your first zero camera, contrary to where you're pushing, is actually going to be for solarium. All you have to do is open up the window right here. When you're on this rappel, you can easily sit here for a good 20 to 30 seconds holding this angle. In case anyone's in bathroom or solarium that wants to peek you, you can easily get a kill. Once you've done that though, shoot your zero camera into solarium just like this. You can get on this camera and it allows you to see all of solarium as well as into bathroom as well. Then go up the ladder onto the library balcony. You're going to open a portion of the library double window and send a zero camera just like this into the fireplace hall. This camera allows you to see anybody on the top of fireplace, the fireplace stairs, and it also allows you to shoot the default camera with your taser, being if you don't have the plant blocking your camera like I dumbly did right here. Once you've used your zero cameras, drones, and gun skill to take library control, put your last zero camera on the top of blue stairs just like this. This, like I said, will watch blue stairs, and you can also use it to zap the camera here. Your final zero camera is completely optional, but I like to put it in the wall just like that. This makes it to where you can zap anything on the other side of the wall if it's on the wall so that you can open it, and it allows you to see all into office. It's great for the plant, and now as zero, you have flank watch for every single possible staircase that roamers could use to try to flank you and get back to site. It's very, very powerful and easy to do. Speaking of zero strats, let's talk about this one for canal. Your first zero camera, you're actually going to shoot at the light just like this. This zero camera will allow you to see through these slits in this glass onto anybody that's playing inside of Skybridge or on the main wall. It's pretty good. You can also do the same thing with putting a zero camera on this vent right here. So now if you open up the window to sight that's typically right there, your zero camera can see in that window onto anybody playing inside of server. Now hopefully by this point your team has the wall open. You can then shoot a zero camera somewhere in the ceiling just like this. This zero camera is pretty hidden due to the ceiling being black just like the camera, and now you can see all of a radar room and the rotate that's typically here as well. Now if you've taken the wall, chances are you can probably take this room too and shoot a zero camera somewhere into 90. This zero camera can get the 90 camera just like this and watch all of 90 as well. And like I said earlier, now you're able to see all possible places that they could use to rotate from every single staircase, whether it be this one seeing the Skybridge staircase or the final camera seeing the red or green staircase, also giving you a 360 view of the site completely. Now I've given you at least 3 strats for canal, so let's bring it back to Villa and give it some love. First of all, let's talk about this zombie strat for the bedroom. You'll want a zombie barricade on the couch just like this. This will make it to where you can play inside of Master without having to worry about this window here. If you want as well, they can upside down rappel on that window so you can double stack it. I personally don't like wasting a barricade on it, but you can do that. Then you'll want to barricade on the little curve of this fireplace, just like this. This will make it to where nobody on this window can also see you whenever you're playing inside of Master. As you can see by the trend of zombie barricades, your main portion of play is going to be inside of Master. Then you'll want barbed wire somewhere inside of the closet, probably right about here. That way when they walk in the closet, they have to run into your barbed wire and make noise so that you don't get surprised when they hop in the window. If you pair this up with a zombie barricade just like this, now they can't even see you, but you can see their feet, so it's really, really good for you. Now, a lot of people will barricade this window here to make it to where people can't peek the head holes from the window and get an angle onto the rotate into Astro. This is really, really good, but people can just shoot open the barricade. So I say, why not put a zombie barricade on it instead? Because they can't shoot through those. As you can see, by putting a barricade just right here, you're easily able to do that. Finally, if you put barbed wire here below the bathroom window, now they can't hop in either of these two windows and surprise you, so you have complete and utter control, dominance, and information when you're playing Master. Your final zombie barricade actually should be one of the first ones you place, and it's on this pillar right here. It makes it to where nobody can go on the Astro window right there and shoot anybody that's trying to play inside of Astro behind the desk. It's very, very powerful. Now, let's say that you want to hold bathroom instead of Master. Well, this castle strat is just as good. Now, you want to castle barricade this window for the obvious reasons that I stated with the zombie strat. But instead of putting in a zombie barricade here, you'll actually want to put it on the closet door. This will make it to where when you're playing inside of bathroom as castle, they can't just bum rush you from Master when they hop in the closet. They actually have to work for it a little. It also makes it to where if you're playing inside of bathroom and you're on these head holes, you don't have to worry about the Master window here because the castle barricade on the door will cover it for you. Now, because you have head holes here, you also want head holes on the wall here so that your person inside of statue can hold the head holes and hold anybody hopping into the closet window here. To help them out and help them do this, you can put a proximity alarm below the window as well. Your second proximity alarm should go on Astro stairs because this makes it to where if they try to sneak up behind you, you have an alarm system set in place so they can't do it. Now, just like the zombie barricade here, you'll want a castle barricade for the Astro window. That way you can rotate out of bathroom into Astro without having to worry about anybody on this window in particular. Your final castle barricade is completely optional, but I like to put it on the bathroom window for obvious reasons. You're playing inside of bathroom. Next, what I would do is reinforce this wall and put feet holes next to it. That way you are safe if you're sitting inside of bathroom like this because of the reinforcement, very easily able to peek the feet holes if they try to hop in with your proximity alarm as information to help you do so. Now that I've given you 2 strats for top floor, you should be ready to move to the bottom floor. With this pulse strat, you should be able to win this too. As pulse, because you don't have much site set up, you should do most of the reinforcing for your team. Reinforcing this wall, the middle wall here for China, the China small wall, the 2 memorial walls, and the wall next to rotate so that you can't get shot in Tetris from memorial. An optional rotate I like to do is reinforcing the wall there, because if you don't, they can easily open the wall and get a long angle into kitchen, so I like to reinforce it. But that's not the main purpose of the strat. As pulls, you want to pre-place your C4 exactly right here. Because if you don't know, the closet door is right there. So whenever you're on your scanner and you see that they're in closet running from the closet door into Master, putting your C4 all the way out here allows you to have that little bit of delay time so that you don't actually miss the person who runs out. When you see them on your scanner, you can easily blow your C4 up and get a free kill. It works 9 times out of 10 in most of my ranked games, and you're still pulsed so you can get some value afterward. But come on, you didn't think I'd skip Aviator in games, did you? Well, with this mirror strat, you won't have to. Most players make the mistake of putting a mirror window here for study, but I have a very weird strat that you might want to try next in your ranked games. Instead of putting a mirror for study in Aviator, I actually recommend you give up Aviator entirely. You want to do this by reinforcing the wall inside of Games Room right here, where you'd normally have head holes, and then you want to put a mirror directly right here. If you do this, it will allow you to see any possible place that they would plant inside of Aviator. Pair this up with holes right next to your mirror, and you can throw a nitro cell onto one of 2 of the default plants inside of Aviator, and the best part is you don't even gotta play in there. What I would also do is reinforce both of these walls and put a mirror on one of the walls, so that you can at least see into study, but they can't see into you playing inside of bar. As you can see with this dual mirror setup, you have a lot of information with free C4 kills just like that, and it's pretty fun and unorthodox. You might want to try it in your ranked games, I don't know. Take a high risk, you get a high reward. Now before we leave Villa, let's go over another dining and kitchen strat, just in case pulse isn't your speed. As Cade, you mainly want to reinforce this wall right here. If you break open the dresser, just like this, you can throw a Cade Claw inside the dresser, which will electrify the left side of the wall here, and also make it to where it's pretty un-EMPable unless they bring a Thatcher. A lot of the times, there will be 2 walls reinforced inside of statue for your roamers. If you throw a Cade Claw right here, it will electrify both of those walls upstairs. So this Cade strat is pretty nice. If you want to substitute for that one, though, in case you don't have roamers you can rely on, you can put that Cade Claw on the 2 memorial walls that are usually here too. Either one works. Speaking of Cade, our final strat is a Cade strat for Basement in Oregon. Now, if you want this wall electrified, just in case you have a mirror or you don't want them to ace it open, once you're here, you can easily throw your Cade Claw under the AC vent just like this. As you can see, this wall is fully electrified. If for whatever reason you end up reinforcing both of these walls, or maybe you just were pushed out of elbow so you reinforce it later into the round, there's another Cade Claw you can do outside. If you again go back to garage, you can throw your Cade Claw in the vines just right here, and that should do the trick. If you like this video, check out the next video. My name's Alka, and I'll see you on the next one. Later. This bitch just put her foot on me.